Welcome to Road to Redline, the #1 Porsche and car podcast celebrating the people and the stories behind the world's finest sports cars. Road to Redline is presented by YouTuber and magazine editor Lee Sibley, serial owner and columnist Joe Williams, and 993 owner Andy Brooks. Three enthusiasts on a mission to open doors and bring you the best stories, secrets and exclusives from the world of Porsche. Andy's having a beer. Evening, guys.
Evening, gents. How are we?
Yeah.
Hey.
Very good. How
Excuse the background noise. That's my dog digging a big hole in the garden.
He is. Is he on double time? Bank holiday and that?
He's on it, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Good to be in each other's company again.
Indeed.
To be honest, it's been a couple of weeks hiatus again.
No more Zooming?
Yeah. Too many Zooms.
Too many Zooms, but we shall rejoice in each other's company for an episode, and we hope you do as well. Listen,
Cheers to that.
Cha-ching.
Beers are out.
Go. Lovely jubbly. So we've got a few things to discuss today. We're going to first of all revisit DIY disasters.
Yeah, we've got a few stories, didn't we, from listeners?
Which is awesome, to be fair. And then we're going to be discussing GT3s, Targas and our own projects, because it sounds like, from what we were just discussing before we hit the red button, there's been lots going on in all three garages.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So...
Look
forward to it. Yes, it's very good. And even a new addition, actually. Joe, in your case.
Yeah,
so
we need to discuss that.
Looking forward to hearing all about that one. So yeah, shall we kick off with some DIY disasters then?
Absolutely.
Can we just spend a second just to go back over your little vinyl roof scenario?
Oh yeah,
we should relive that. Having now seen the pictures, I think that is the best thing I've ever seen ever.
I have to say, I went to an independent specialist, walked in, and Chris at said independent specialist said, "I've listened to your DIY disasters episode on the podcast." I said, "Oh right, yeah." He said, "Vinyl roof." I said, "Yes." And I just got called a C-bomb outright. I think, which, I mean, to be fair, is fair, accurate and contemporaneous, as they say in court. So,
legendary.
Yeah, I thought it was quite funny sharing it and just kind of...
Dog now has a ball and is squeaking it for everybody's amusement.
So, yeah, it was good to be vulnerable. What I'd like to know is, have any of you two guys thought of any other disasters yourselves, so that maybe we can all be practiced together?
No, none ever.
I think my list was long enough anyway. I think I gave enough already.
Yeah, it was funny, but it's been good to see the Road to Redline community coming together on this and
laughing with us.
Laughing, yeah.
Well,
a bit of both, I think. But yeah, there's a couple of people have sent in their own submissions.
Yeah, I've got
a
couple. Dennis McGill. He says, "Hi guys, got to your pod a little late this week. Here is my DIY disaster. When I bought my 97 986, the key did not work in the door. It just spun around and around. There is a small pin, actually paddle shaped, going into a lot of detail here, which is connected to the key barrel, which when connected activates the door lock actuator. It was dislodged, so door card off. It's located high up behind the window mechanism, behind the door strength bars, and it had to be connected blind, at least by my amateur skills it did. After many bent arm attempts from all sorts of angles, I got it connected. I can imagine this going on because I've been in exactly the same situation many times. As I was doing this blind, the connection I did made a confirmed success as the door locked. But I kept the pin paddle, this is a right old tongue twister, isn't it? Pressed due to my position, which then activated the window up-close feature a lot of German cars have, pinning and pinching my arm with the window arm and mechanism. So he's now wedged in. As I could now not reach the internal pin paddle, there's lots of pin paddles, it's a real tongue twister, to drop the window, the car key was out of reach. I had to shout for help. returning my calls, my wife had to be convinced I was not messing about. Just so happy I can rely on her in an emergency.
Oh, no way. No way.
That reminds me, I was doing some work on the car the other day, and Sarah was in the garage, and I was doing some work on the lights. I said, could you turn the lights on and off? She then turned the lights on and off in the garage.
Excellent, absolutely excellent. I love how you throw your missus completely under the bus there as well. That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah. So that's one I had. I think there's another one that I've got, which is a speak pipe, so we can listen to that one.
Quality.
From Ross Gifford.
Hi Andy, Joe, Lee. Awesome podcast on DIY disasters, which has sort of made me feel like I can admit to two of my worst ones. First one being balancing some carbs on a motorbike years and years ago in my dad's shed, using vacuum gauges, idling sweet, done all the balancing, revved it up a bit to see how it felt, and proceeded to suck the mercury straight up the vacuum gauges into the carbs and fired it out the back of the exhaust, which I cleaned up with a dustpan and brush. So I'm not willing to sort of say where that ecological disaster currently sits in Birmingham somewhere. Second is first 996, decided to do a gearbox oil change. Looking around, thought I'll take the fill plug out first just to be clever, just in case you have an issue. Thought, blimey, that's a difficult socket, that fill plug looks like. But I can get that out, that's not going to stop me. So I actually got a cold chisel out and a hammer, tapping the edge of the bolt to get it moving, got it moving. Just as 20 minutes later, as I'm removing what I thought was the fill plug, clunking the gearbox, and realised I'd removed one of the detent pins. So the car had to be towed to a specialist, gearbox removed and rebuilt. And if I'd have only looked on the other side, I'd have seen a perfectly normal Allen fill bolt for the transmission. So that one still makes me cringe to this very day, and listening to your disasters has allowed me to actually admit to it. Good work. Love the podcasts. Cheers.
Awesome. Solidarity and debauchery. Fair play. That is awesome.
That one reminds me of one I'd forgotten about, actually. I had a Corrado G60, and I was doing some work on the wiring loom. I think I was putting an alarm in it, and did all the work, working great. Went out for a drive, and the brakes were just not working. Like the pedal was rock hard, and somehow I'd fused the relay for the ABS circuit. This bloody relay was something like 200 quid to bloody repair it. So yeah, I'd saved myself so much money putting the alarm in, but I had to buy a £200 bloody relay just because I'd fused it. You've got another one, haven't you?
That's mint. That's absolutely mint.
You've got one, haven't you, Lee?
So Andy Gregory, who's a Patreon, sent us a couple of crackers, actually. So again, thank you for that, Andy. First one, me and a mate built a metal spoiler that came out the rear of his Nova. It starts so well. It starts well. I love it. Me and a mate built a metal spoiler that came out the rear of his Nova window. Brackets. We cut the window from Perspex, sourced from B&Q, of course. Another advocate of the DIY car upgrade. It was inspired by the Charisma R5 GTT and the Alpha 147 BTTC of the time. The brackets were those drilled angle type, bent to shape and riveted, as we couldn't weld, and the corner of the metal spoiler was deadly sharp. I love it. Probably in an age where Porsche had impact bumpers specifically designed for pedestrian contact. Anyway, Andy says it used to bounce around the back of the screen as he drove along, was handy for putting milkshakes and burgers on when you parked that way. That's classic. That just to me, he says, the good old 90s, didn't it? Right, okay, another one. Equally horrendous. I had a Reliant Robin as my first car when I was 14 or 15. Brackets, I pestered my mum for ages and she agreed to buy me this. More brackets, I wanted a Beetle. Yeah, fairly similar. And me and a mate painted it gloss black with a brush. It was originally yellow. And then and then I finished all the chrome in a contrasting metallic blue rattle can. Whoa. Nice. I also smoothed off the rear boot lid. It was a van, bolting it shut with some coach bolts and fiberglassing the gap before bolting a modified XR3i rear spoiler to the roof. Oh, right,
oh my word.
Proper famalam. For a lot of reasons, it was the best that it never saw the road, and I think it ended up getting raced. Excellent, yeah.
Banger race.
That is
fantastic.
There was only one more small one that I did think about the other day, and I thought I'll never mention that, but I will just very quickly. When I had an MX-5, it's the first one I had. I basically put my fist through the rear sill by accident. It's common that they rust in that area. And I had an MOT.
What, angry were you?
No, but it's just like, it was on the ramp and we're just like assessing the situation.
You start poking it and like...
Yeah, exactly that, to be fair. And the whole thing...
Oh my God.
It was a Unos Japanese import. There's no protection underneath. And when they come over here, the climate just eats them. So I was just looking at an afternoon of hammerite on the car, and then all of a sudden I've got, a hole in the side. So I had an MOT coming up. I had no option but to just try and filler the lot. I put pots and pots and pots and pots of filler in the sill. And then on the MOT, the viewing bay was like next to the thing. And obviously I'd just like primed it, rattle canned it off, like it was black anyway, flat black. And just to kind of smooth it over. But you could see like something's gone on.
Something was amiss.
Yeah, and the MOT tester, he was going along and he looked at it and he tapped it and it sounded so... It's not a shot of metal inside, like in the vicinity. And he was like, I can't tell if that's been welded or fitted. I was like...
I don't know, mate.
I was just like, are you deaf? I was just like, yeah. I said, well, I said something like, if you tap any harder, you might find out, but please don't, basically. And he just turned a blind eye and walked over. Honestly, there was kilos of filler sitting on like the near side rear of the car.
I wonder if they still sell P38.
Yeah, they do.
Do they still sell it? I wonder if
Excellent.
anybody actually uses it.
Somebody must.
Yeah.
Was your car like going down the road like at a funny angle?
Yeah, it was corner balanced, I reckon, to be fair. Yeah, near side rear. I was on the right at the front. So, yeah, cracking. Yeah, thank you. And to be fair, I think we should keep this going. So if anybody else is willing to come forward, because let's be honest, everybody has got a DIY disaster. Everybody.
We've all done some shonky shit.
Yeah. Please do enlighten us, and we can all have a giggle at somebody's expense, even if it's your own. So. Cool. So that was that. What was next? What were we going to discuss next? Was it GT3?
Yeah.
GT3.
Now, I want to know, Joe, obviously you were looking at these at the start of the year.
I did, yeah. I thought it was quite a good proposition.
Yeah, but you and several other people in the market are starting to get a bit nervous on them. What's your kind of take on it as a...
I think
So is this 997 G?
Sorry,
GT3?
yeah, so we should explain. 991.1 GT3.
Oh, 991.1s, yeah.
So they were, they were revealed at the Paris Motor Show, October 2012, first deliveries
2013,
early 2013, March time. Then obviously that was the one with all the a few cars caught fire. There was the recall for the first however many cars.
So did every car get a new engine?
Every car that was built to that point was recalled and had a whole new engine put in.
And they give you a 10-year warranty on the new engine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what was the issue?
At the time, problem with the conrod.
Okay.
Now, then, I think there has been other things. I haven't followed it amazingly closely, but I think in around 2017, owners from, I don't think it's Porsche Club North America, I think it was Renlist, contacted Porsche and aired concerns over the longevity and reliability of the engine, asking for a discussion with Porsche, no more. And to be fair to Porsche's credit, I think Dr. Frank Stefan Volliser, head of the 911 line these days, flew over to the US and spoke with these owners directly, and then had it sprung on them that actually the manufacturer's going to put a 10-year or 100,000 mile manufacturer warranty on the car, which is pretty unheard of, to be fair, particularly for a car with what's essentially a race engine, isn't it?
Yeah.
So so that it's early 2013. So the first cars that are going to have this warranty ceasing is, well, we're 2 years away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it as that big an issue, because I think if you're in Porsche warranty, you can extend Porsche warranty. I think anybody who's running a 991 GT3, the sensible option is just to keep ticking on the Porsche warranty. Yeah, what is it, £1,000, 900 quid a year or something? I think they do something like that. And I think if you just carried it on, then you got peace of mind. Yeah, that'd be my take on it.
Yeah, I think the issue is like looking through the market, because the cars sit at about 90 to 100k. Off the bat, fantastic value for money, because that it really is a step on from the 997.2 generation.
What are they putting out those engines? They're not 500 brake, are they? Are they 450? 475?
They are 450.
450.
Yeah, on the nose. 3.8 litre engine. This is before the 4 litres. Obviously, they're all PDK.
Yeah.
And they were controversial, if you like, from new for the electric assisted steering, the rear axle steering, PDK only, etc. So they've always stood out, but they are exceptional value for money. Plenty to choose from, but many of them have slipped away from main dealer for a few years now. So, how many of them will be able to qualify for that Porsche warranty, I don't know, Joe.
But you can put them back in the system. I think there's it's a bit like I think it's just the next ball score, to be honest. I think yes, they're out there. Yes, they go wrong. If you buy a good one, you have it checked and you look after it. And in this case, keep the warranty going. It's not I personally don't think it's a big problem.
Do we know of any cars that have had issues of late?
I think there is quite a few.
Oh, is there?
That have, okay. There's if you look, there's lots of online chat now, about cars that are still having things that aren't quite right or still going wrong.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Tony, who's San Diego based, living the legend columnist like yourself, Joe.
Yeah.
And he has
occasional Joe.
Occasional columnist Joe. He has a 2015 car that he's owned from new, actually, and he's had problems with smoking, like on startup, from cold when he's used it and the engine's warm.
Yeah.
Persistent problem. Took it to the dealer lots of times. They inspected it recently. Excess oil in cylinder 2, a couple of other bits and pieces. It went all the way up to the top at PCNA, and he's had a engine replaced on warranty
on a 2015 car.
2015, yeah. So, if say it was an early car. In this time in 2 years, that same problem, he's got a fork out for a brand new GT engine.
You could be out in your ear on your own.
Yeah, and there's that it's quite a major line, that I feel, and I think certain people I've spoken to in the industry, dealers are getting nervous going near them now. Because reputable dealers, if you buy a car once or sell a car once, you should be happy to sell it twice. That's kind of how it works, and they're trying to shy away from them where possible because they just feel like, well, we don't know where this is going, and they don't want, as a third party, to have their name to that.
It could have a knock-on effect, couldn't it? Because that could push more of them on the general second-hand market. As in private owners selling them, in which case, people just get excited and go and buy a GT3 without knowing all that could easily end up with them. So, there could be a wash of them that...
Well, say they come down within 2 years' time, so they're 90 to 100 now, roughly. By the time the 992 GT3s, there's more of them in circulation and whatnot, they come down. So say, you could pick one up for £70,000, as we were saying, a hell of a lot of car for the money, isn't it? But if you
How much is an engine?
This is it. I've no idea. We should find out. But,
I mean... I bet it's got to be 20 grand, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, comfortably.
But it sounds like they're 20 grand undervalued then, really.
Do you think?
Don't know.
Wow.
What do you think?
Well,
does it seem a bargain that one of those is 75, 80k?
It does until the engine goes pop, and where you've got absolutely zero protection
so
whatsoever.
Then it's just like any other 911, really, isn't it? There's always something that can happen. Take your 996 RM, what's it? IMS bearing.
Yeah, but that's on
a 997.
10 grand shitbox, isn't it? Basically, not a.
Yeah, but an engine's.
Yeah, they were doing.
Far off of that, is it?
They were doing short
block
996.
996 is for £3,000, brand new.
Yeah, they were. Okay. They're not doing. They still
stopped now.
Yeah, it's like I think 6 or something.
They're £6,000 now. But they were. But you could probably pick up a second-hand 996 engine fairly easily for a couple of grand.
So, Joe, at the start of the year, you were kind of flirting with the idea of getting a 991.1 GT3.
Yep.
Where are you at now with all things considered?
I actually shied away from it. Not so much that. It was actually the way it financed. It was it financed really badly.
Seriously, how come?
I thought it'd be spot on. I thought, it's a GT car. I was looking at then because you could pick them up then for 85, 90. There was choice at that. Obviously, everything's a bit stronger now, but it was sort of beginning of the year, it was a bit less. Terrible residuals.
Seriously,
all the sort of balloon end payment, final bubble type stuff was really, really bad, which really surprised me. I don't know if it was the age of the car because you're into a 2013 car, so it would have been 7-8 years old.
Is that not because the finance companies know about the warranty running out?
Yeah.
And they're predicting a slide?
Possibly. I mean, it could be. I don't know if it's
That's quite a good indicator.
Yeah, I mean, it could either be that or it's just the age of the cars. You're into that sort of 7-8 years. In 2 or 3 years' time, when the finance agreements might be expiring, they're going to be 10, 11-year-old cars. I think when you're into over 10 years old, it's they have a different appetite for it. But I was surprised. I was really surprised, and the numbers were terrible. You could actually, for the same money, you could it'd be cheaper to finance a Gen 2 GT3 in terms of what it would cost you both ways. Which seemed mad. That's. I thought it would stack up really well, but actually, the numbers on a Carrera T were much better. The numbers on a GTS were far better as well. That was my decision making at the time.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I wonder if that is part of that reflection. Then is they're aware of that warranty running out, and it's like I say, it's people are talking about it. Whereas a couple of years ago they weren't, and 2 years, as we know, it kind of goes like that.
Yeah, a couple of years, people were comfortable. Oh yeah, I've still got 4 or 5 years on warranty.
Yeah, you think, well, I'll have 3 years of it and then sell it off. Whereas now, the chances are, if you're buying one now, you're probably going to be into it by the time, if it's an early car, or say up to 2015, you're going to be into it until that warranty runs out, and that's a whole new kind of proposition, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? People are going to be looking at, A, how long do I keep it for, and B, how much that warranty is going to be left when I come to sell it. And even if it's only got a year left on it, I think it's not a very appetising proposition, is it?
No.
Buy this car, the engine might blow up, but don't worry, it's covered for a year.
I would be extremely worried purchasing that, like completely not in a position to do so currently, but that would really make me think twice about that, it has to be said. Which is a shame, because that's a cracking car otherwise.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. But
there always seems to be something, isn't there? There's always something.
Yeah, it was always certain models of certain things. I mean, they're always going to drop the ball on something, but I think the simple answer to that is just go the belt and braces route. Go Porsche warranty and just spend the money and just run that into the costs and just accept that's what it's going to cost you to keep it warranted.
Yeah.
Or wait for it to become a real bargain and keep some money back.
Yeah.
I don't think that's sensible. I think those GT engines are considerably more expensive than even the sort of regular models. So I think you could be into almost junk money if you're not careful, or it could be half the cost of the car, or it could certainly stand you in so much that it would be.
I wonder if many specialists have rebuilt one of those yet.
Yeah, I mean that might be the next run. Yeah, it'd be interesting if anyone out there knows of anybody that's rebuilding them. Yeah, because that is the other thing. There must be people that have been caught short that have ended up with a problem one. Good point. There's lots of people that sort of do all the IMS ball score stuff now, isn't there? And specialise in it. That might be the next wave. It's
Well, there's enough of them to make a business case of it.
Yeah. Absolutely. How many of those do they sell? 5,000 or something?
It was literally thousands for global markets. Yeah, it was I think the most popular GT3 of all time.
Wow. Okay.
So it was right in the boom, wasn't it? So, the somewhat potted history of the 991.1 GT3 set to continue.
Yeah.
See how it pans out.
I tell you what, though, if they end up being 70 grand, I think that might be worth a revisit.
Do you think? Yeah. Such a risky 70k though.
No.
I just think
roll the dice.
70k, I'd rather stick it into something that was just safer. And actually, in Porsche money, you can get so much.
He says running a 996.
Yeah.
Or have you had your bearing done?
Yeah, it has actually.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not prior to my ownership. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's the thing, and yes, that whole 50 to 80k price bracket for 911s in particular, there is so much choice.
Yeah, that's true.
So when it comes to risk versus reward, although the reward is quite high on them, I would argue the risk is equally as high.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Fair point.
But,
let's keep an eye on those.
Yeah.
I'll come back to them, I reckon.
Definitely. Awesome.
So you had one of those new Targas, Lee, didn't you? What was that like?
Yeah, well, you had to look around it first of all. I'd like to know what you thought of it, because we have discussed it on this podcast before. That was the Targa Heritage Design Edition.
Yeah, that was when it first came out, and we were all a bit about it, weren't we? From what I can remember.
Yeah. It looked a bit sort of lots of gold bits and bells and whistles bolted on, didn't it?
Yeah.
A bit tarty in the pictures.
I had a week with it, and I've totally changed my opinion on it, I have to say. I bloody love it.
Even with your noddy lollipops on the side.
No, so the lollipops, that was the only one actually without a number on, which kind of lessened the blow, I think, a little bit in terms of looking like a bit of a Wally. But with the lollipop,
I still don't see how that fits in with because it's like a nice looking car that's got the classic bits on it, and then why put lollipops on it? I still don't get
meant to be sort of heritage, old school race car-y thing.
It's not a race car, is it?
That, and then the strakes coming out from the headlights kind of down the side on top of like the front fenders and stuff. Yeah, it's all meant to feed into that vibe. But I always think when you're speccing a car, and this goes for Miami Blue Cayennes and God knows what else is kind of flitting about the dealer network. I think when you're speccing a car, you've got to do does it look okay driving through Coventry on a rainy day in November or somewhere kind of, a bit like that. And if the answer's no, then you should probably not do it. And yeah, when I was in traffic a couple of times, I did feel like a bit of a wally in the car with all those bits and pieces on the side.
Talking about funny colours, a fairly newish Cayenne pulled in my road the other day, and it's that really bright metallic green. It's like Kermit green. Is that what it is?
Green, I think it's called.
It's almost Kermit green, it's metallic. And that is a massive car to be, like, it's almost lime green. It's, imagine lizard, but metallic.
Yeah.
I mean, Christ, that is how you spec a massive car in that colour.
I think that's where Porsche goes wrong quite a lot, by offering those kind of special colours maybe that have emanated from a GT car and then putting it across the whole kind of lineup. So, I mean, like lizard green, Miami blue, even lava orange. When you've got, say, you put it on a modern GT where it's kind of broken up by bits of carbon fibre or whatnot.
Yeah, pull it off.
It's fine, and also the shape and the way it's sculpted. Excuse me, the aggression on the car, it works. But then on like
big slabs of colour.
On like a lumpy Cayenne or Panamera or something, you just think, God, that looks horrendous.
This thing looked dreadful. I just thought, how? Anyway, they might be our new neighbours. I think they were looking at the house for sale opposite, so I might get to look at it some more. I never know.
Yeah, maybe you're best mate. That's how it usually starts. So I thought your car was horrendous. I have to say, with that Targa though, going back to like the lollipops and the strakes and whatnot, I found a lot of people trying to tailgate or race you off the lights or whatever with that car. It's almost like the extra graphics, because it can't be anything else. It's quite a soft car to look at, isn't it, otherwise? In comparison to like any GT3 driven or whatever, so a lot of people were like trying to goad us the whole time in that car, and I think that kind of incites people, It was a fantastic, actually. So I was joining the M6 from the M42, and it's all average speed cameras with the cameras in gantry along there. And it was a Mark 6 or 7 Golf. But I was doing 70, and it came past. I was in the left lane, the far left lane, and it came past at about 80, and then slowed down just in front of me to the right hand side. And I thought, what's this? And the back passenger window near side came down, and a hand waved me forwards. I thought, here we go. I actually thought it was old Bill at first. They'd pull us over for the silly decals, but it was a group of lads in the car, and they were egging us to like put my foot down. And I thought, so you've got more to lose than gain in that scenario, haven't you? So I literally like tapped the accelerator so that the car just like dropped down a couple of gears. That was literally it. But obviously the engine just makes a bit of a noise. Yeah. And that was all this guy needed. It was like a red flag to a ball. And he shot off. And honestly, I shit you not, as we were joining the M6, he just kept his foot down. He must have been doing about 90. And he got flashed. So he's like, mate, no way. But again, it's a perfect kind of example of that. I am absolutely adamant without those kind of silly stripes and whatnot on the side.
Wouldn't have got that, would you?
Yeah, and I've had a few scenarios of that with that car, and I've never had that with like GT3s really or anything. So,
dear.
But you got to have a good poke around the Targa over a coffee, Joe, didn't you? So
I think it was a good looking car. Decals are obviously a taste thing, aren't they, or a choice thing? But the rest of it I think is actually really nice. Better in the flesh than the pictures. Yeah. Definitely. I think the interior is cool. it's all...
Is it like a corduroy or something?
Yeah, corduroy seat inserts and like perforated Alcantara up the A-pillar inside of the roll bar.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it's sort of replicating an old school headlining.
Exactly that. Exactly
with the perforations.
Yep.
So there's lots of nods, there's lots of little bits, there's lots of detail. I think if you sat there for 10 minutes and actually just looked, they started jumping out at you. And you go, okay, that's clever, that's nice, that's clever.
Yeah.
Lots of little bits trimmed, wasn't there? There are lots of little leather panels that aren't standard trim, I think, that were all done as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It was just the level of kind of craftsmanship was exquisite. Yeah. And that is, to me, what Porsche Exclusive is all about. Yeah. And there's a few bits and pieces they've done recently have left us kind of thinking, what the hell is going on in that department? 10 years ago, they were Sport Classics, 997 Speedsters. These days, Turbo S GB editions, which is a standard Turbo S with a Union Jack imprinted on the armrest. Really, and then a plaque. That's kind of it. Whereas this, I feel, was a bit of a return to form. Yeah. And the level of finish was exquisite, and actually the thought that had gone into car, I thought was brilliant. Again, just little touches like the green dials, numbering on the tacho, and then obviously the green bits and pieces on their digital screens either side, the early crest as well on like the wheels, steering wheel, and on the nose. Really, really well considered.
Okay.
Really well
So
considered.
spec it without the graphics and it's all cool.
Yeah, I think so, to be honest with you. The only thing I would say that I did notice, and this is kind of from a practicality point of view, so the interior, it was two-tone, red, DDR, as we've kind of labelled it in circles.
Favourite colour interior for me.
Yeah, with beige. And I noticed, so I had the car for a week. Obviously, the world and his wife and the media has had the car recently. I think it's done 5K now. And any case, before I hand the cars back to Porsche GB, I always have a cursory sweep, make sure I've not left my phone behind and that there's no rubbish and not involved.
I still haven't got my hat back from all that time
it's
ago.
probably the only thing we've lost, really, I think, is your hat. I don't know where that's
Good job
gone.
you lost that hat.
Yeah. But any case, so it had the 18-way Sport Seat Plus, which is where it's got the extension behind the knees.
Okay, yeah.
Any case, so I that was folded back the whole way. So if you can imagine, before that extension, there's like a crease in the corduroy, and then you extend that out and it flattens out the whole thing. And the difference in colour between that bit that falls between the two sections and then the bit that you actually sit on was completely different. The top surface had like a blue to it, where obviously everyone's jeans getting in and out, and it just made me wonder how much that will wear.
I'll tell you what, I noticed the bolsters in that car were pretty worn.
Yeah.
And what had it done? 5,000 miles?
Yeah, it had 5K.
Now, it's probably hard miles, to be fair.
Yeah, and this is the thing. So the whole point of that,
Load of fat journalists.
Yeah. Well, there's no launch porch these days. They're not doing launches, but the leather is definitely a better quality. To kind of touch and feel and whatnot straight away, but it's
more delicate, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's reminiscent of that kind of club leather.
Yeah,
you know, like club chair leather. Sorry,
the days of the sort of Napa ruffled leather they did, isn't it?
Yeah. So the whole idea is it's meant to kind of age gracefully, if you like. Now I'm not sure that's going to happen. Even the steering wheel was starting to look a little bit shiny already at sort of like the 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock positions. So I personally would just rather have absolutely pucker leather from the air-cooled era, which just seemed to just look beautiful for years, didn't it? You know, 993 leather's always much better than 997, for example. I'd rather they just stuck to that rather than trying to focus on something as to how it ages, because, you know, club chairs, they look knackered, they feel great to sit in, but they have a certain vintage, and I'm not sure on a car seat you're going for patina. I just think you're going for a nice... Not
on a new, essentially a new car either. I think it's a bit.
Not a Targa when the world and his wife can easily just have a peek inside.
Anything special on drivetrain on that, or is
it's all standard fare, mate.
Stuff?
Yeah, so it's what is that? 450 horsepower. Obviously, 4-wheel drive of it being a Targa.
It's not bad going. I mean, that's the same as those GT3s we were knocking on about earlier.
Well, yeah, exactly that. To be honest, and as we've kind of said before, my opinion is the Targa needs the turbocharged engine. Everyone raves about the 991.1 for being naturally aspirated, but the turbo engine, it suits the chunkier, heavier Targa. So it's a fantastic car all round. So to be honest, kudos to Porsche exclusive. The only thing I will say is, so it's 136 plus options, of which you wouldn't spec many because it's pretty well spec'd. Off the bat, there were 2 for sale last week when I looked at 175. So a couple of cars being flipped in the UK already, which is really disappointing. Just because it's a numbered limited build production run, 992 made worldwide.
Yeah. It's unsurprising, though, is it? Come on.
It is, yeah, but I mean, there's been kind of so much trajectory on car flipping that you know it's just a dirty practice and a dirty word, and it's recognised as that, you know. And
it's a dirty time at the moment, isn't it? The car prices everywhere are going crazy, and it's just going to...
Yeah, it's a good point. But I just, you know, I implore... I mean, they weren't obviously at Porsche dealers, they were at specialists, and I think there is a duty... And you know, people might not agree with this, but I do strongly believe there is a duty for Porsche centres to act, and next time a special edition car comes up, that person shouldn't get the car. Yeah, because then they've not bought that car to...
They just need a better system, don't they? I know we've talked about this a lot, but I think they just need a better system.
Well, I've thought of one. I have given this only a tiny bit of thought, to be fair, so it's probably going to fall down immediately. But if that car appears in the network without a valid reason, or unless you just go carte blanche, blanket approach, where if it appears in the network within, you know, what's reasonable to decide you don't get on with a car, 6 weeks maybe. I can't see I would go back before that. Well, then you're as a centre, you are penalised. So not necessarily the customer, and then that puts more power in terms of the dealers. And so next time there's a limited edition car come along, you don't get the same allocation. So if one of your cars, say in this Targa, I think most dealers got 2 or 1 in this country, and then one ends up floating in the network or on the classifieds within 3 weeks of the car going on sale, well, then they lose as a dealership their allocation, and that will hurt the franchises.
I think it's a great idea. I think the problem is that the flipping world is so much more thought out already.
Yeah.
A lot of these cars change hands, but the V5s don't change hands.
Yeah.
That's really common. Yeah, you can buy the car, but you're not allowed to change the V5 for a year or 2. And a lot of them just, they pass hands off market, so to speak. I mean, I'm surprised seeing 2 advertised publicly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many things at the moment that are just changing hands before they hit the market.
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself is interesting. The fact that they've not changed hands, and they've actually made it on general sale with a specialist.
Yeah, delivery miles as well, 10 miles, and
mad,
somebody's retort to me also, you don't know people's situations. Of course you don't, but surely you just give it back to the Porsche dealership. They'll have a list of people that wanted that car and were denied it.
I think if that was the rule or the agreement or the contract, whatever, then I think that'd be great. I think in reality, if your circumstances change and you can make yourself 20, 30k by flipping a car, I understand why people do, and you can't knock them for that. But at the same time, the system allows it at the moment.
Yeah.
So definitely there is someone needs to do something, because it's just getting a bit old, isn't it?
Yeah, getting old.
Yeah.
I'm bored about talking about that.
Yeah. Cool. We'll move on. Well, let's talk about your car, Andy.
No, I want to talk about some other exclusive stuff, and that was the Boxsters, 000 Boxsters.
Okay.
Not necessarily about those particular cars, but I did think they looked pretty cool. Have you seen those?
Is that the ones they ran out a few, 2 or 3 years ago? Or was these different ones?
No. They're
a couple of weeks ago, was it?
Yeah,
it was,
they were released a couple of weeks ago, as in the info. 000, putting them around. Some nice colourways, some nice little options and things. But I thought that was quite interesting in what else is going to come along.
Oh, was this brand new Boxsters?
Yeah, brand new Boxsters.
Porsche exclusive. Yeah, sorry, I'm with you.
Yeah. So they were like sort of heritagey colours, I'd say. Would you say that? I think there was a slate grey, Albert blue, a nice green, and some nice sort of well-chosen colourways. But I was interested to know who else have they got in the line to do that sort of help them in curating stuff. Is it going to be a Magnus Walker? Who's what? Magnus Walker. Magnus Walker edition or a Total 911 edition?
Well, you
there won't be a T911 Boxster, I guarantee that.
Can you imagine that? Yeah. I think the flexibility of the production line and your exclusive options and all kind of those bits and pieces, I think it's so vast now. And Porsche Classic, even as we discussed in a recent pod, the realm of what they view as possible on a brand new build now it's so extensive. I don't really think you need to sugarcoat it by calling it the whatever edition it is.
It's quite clever marketing though, isn't it? Do you think?
I don't know, and I really respect what the folks do at 000. They've absolutely moved the magazine game on, without question. But I don't know. I mean, even if you put it within like a Total 911 context, to keep things kind, I wouldn't drive around in a Total 911 edition 911. I don't see the point.
I guess I wasn't trying to pull reference to those particular ones, but I was just interested what else might come along from that sort of scenario. I
think there's potential for all sorts of stuff to come out of it, because they've already proven that whether we like it or not, it does make good marketing, and they do sell the cars. People are interested.
But it's like, Porsche Exclusive has done that for years, and this is where like the reputational or the reputation of the department has taken a little bit of a hit, I would say. So, like, they'll do 10 Targa Florio edition Targas, and Mayfair edition cars, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a bit...
Do you think they're scraping the barrel a bit?
It's just guff, isn't it, to be honest with you? Yeah, I just think, and again, just go back to my original point, where the possibilities for options and spec is so vast now, I don't think you as a consumer need to tie yourself to
something that's created
to
for
a group.
you.
Just think, like literally you have a blank piece of paper to create the car of your dreams. don't kind of be held back by, you know, the colour palette of whatever edition it may be.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
Just, what do you think? Like, 'cause you're,
I don't know. I thought it was quite cool that. I thought the actual look of the cars were really good.
Yeah.
Much better than the 25-year Boxster.
Okay, yeah.
But that's down to those wheels. I still think they're bloody awful.
Yeah, yeah.
I quite like the rest of it, but
Yeah.
not the JDM wheels. But I actually thought the 3 cars that I saw, the 000 range, I thought were actually quite interesting.
Yeah, okay.
Nicely curated.
Yeah. How do you sell it though? So that use the Boxster thing, for example, the 25-year Boxster. I think that'll be a lot easier to sell.
True. Yeah.
Than and again, say let's use the Road to Redline edition Boxster, and we come up with just 3 absolute horrendous cars that look like our own. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then so, all right, someone mad has gone and bought one of these cars. How do you sell it from there?
I think you're underestimating people's creativity or lack of, more to the point. A lot of people I think struggle to spec a car. I think a lot of people struggle to put the right bits together, which, you haven't got to look that far through, cars for sale or cars that come out where you go,
what the?
Who on earth?
GT3 with comfort seats.
Case in point. But you do see some really, really horrendous things that somebody I think's picked off a colour palette or off a computer screen, and they've not actually really, no one said to them, that's not really going to work very well. So I think when you get these special editions, I think it makes people feel like they've bought something. The collection of those parts to them, I think, makes them feel more special than it might necessarily be in reality. Yeah. But they're then part of a more exclusive, special mini club.
Yeah.
I was chatting to someone the other day who just sold their Spider, and the Spider Owners Club is a ruthless gang. There was some, I think there was some display thing. Was it Goodwood or somewhere the other day, and they had 50 or 60 Spiders all on together, and they did a parade lap and all the rest of it. But the Spider's a nice car, it's a cool car. Is it a really iconic be all end all car? Not really. But in that world, that's their mini club. And I think if you end up with a 000 Boxster, well, you're in that gang, aren't you? And I think that's the attraction.
Yeah. I get that, to be fair. I do get that.
I'll be interested to see how it develops, what else comes out.
And that's why we can go on to our next news is we are delighted to present the Road to Redline Porsche Cayman edition coming out. 1 of 3. No, maybe not. Can you imagine that? Oh dear. Cool, interesting stuff. Let's talk projects.
Okay.
Because Joe's been busy buying.
Yes.
You've been busy tinkering.
I have,
I've been busy fixing.
Yeah.
And I found a new rattle as well.
Oh, no.
You'd be so pleased. And I've located it as well. It's the handbrake.
Have you fixed it?
No. I've just turned the music up. It's the handbrake, but where there's movement left to right in the handbrake.
Yeah.
You got a wobble on?
Well, it's just there is just this a knocking sound basically. Only it's literally like just plastic on plastic, like rubbing basically. So it has to be like in a certain position for it to
just drive along with the handbrake on, you'd
basically.
Be fine.
Well, this is it. I think I might have to be honest. But,
you were playing around with knobs, weren't you, the other day?
I was playing, with knobs and shafts.
But you've not gone for it was the dildo edition.
Yes, so
I did have a
you've
got past that.
Did you retire that?
I did, yeah. I thought, my days of that are long gone, unfortunately. I did get a 917 inspired shifter.
Yeah.
Which I'd wanted to do for ages, to be honest.
Lovely.
The shifter on my car. Again, it's that touch point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Steering wheel shifter. You've got a good relationship
well
with it.
touched already, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is it. Yeah, if only. And so I wanted to change it up. So went 917 inspired. And actually, we'll discuss it on another pod. But I've fallen down this huge rabbit hole. I'd contacted Porsche Archive, and we're looking at the history of the wooden shifter at Porsche,
awesome.
Looking at the 908, 917 race cars via the Carrera GT, because I just kind of stopped and thought, well, why do I want a wooden shifter? Obviously, I love the one in the Carrera GT. I know it's found fame with the 917.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was in the 908. Looking at the types of wood and all that. So extremely boring, but equally fascinating. We might
maybe we should do that as a
time.
special edition pod with a disclaimer.
Yeah, with just me on it, and you two can have a well-earned holiday. Or
we might lose all of our subscribers. I think.
Yeah.
How did fitting go? You're not using it for getting across the Severn Bridge, this one?
No, unfortunately not.
Did you fit it yourself?
I did.
Bloody
yeah,
hell.
yeah, I did. And
Is it still attached?
Yeah, I've put some Loctite on it this time.
Ooh.
So if I do get to a toll booth
It's
and
never
need the
coming
arm
off.
extension, yeah, I'm buggered.
Yeah.
Did you make a visit to B&Q at all?
I didn't this time. No, I was gutted.
Well
so
done.
yeah, the only thing like vaguely DIY, which actually my wife Laura did for me, is I needed to just like cut off. I removed the gear gaiter.
Yeah.
But it's all one piece right up to the shifter.
Oh, yeah.
And I needed to retain the gaiter for this, which has got like a
collar that
exactly
trims it
that.
off.
So we just kind of cut that off. I say we, obviously Laura did that.
Yeah.
I presented her with my wooden knob, and she said it was the biggest knob she's seen in a few years as well. So that was pretty good. But yeah, and again, just like totally, once it was on the car, it's just totally transformed like the feel of the car, and like shifting gears is a real pleasure and whatnot.
Yeah.
Stop looking at me funny, Joe. So it was good.
So
yeah,
proper worth it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Good.
100%. But I mean, you've been completely busy, Andy. Like you've literally changed the front end on your car.
yeah. I've been doing lots of work on the front.
Yeah.
So yeah, new bits and bobs. So bits of spoiler on the front, grille intake.
I do want to pull you up because you obviously you're a stickler for not having wings and things.
Yes.
And
yeah.
then
You've added some wings and things.
I have added wings
from
and things.
Tech Art as well, that are king of the wings and things.
Yeah, but I think they're quite subtle.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tech art
He's coming
stuff.
round to
He
wings
is,
and
isn't
things.
he? Yeah.
I think it'll be quite. Well, I think it looks good.
Yeah.
He'll have a cup car spoiler this time next week.
No. Won't go
Yeah.
that far.
He'll be speaking to Andy
think-
Gregory about bolt-on Nova jobby.
I think it balances out the ducktail on the back. I think it just gives the front a bit more of aggression.
Yeah, the 993 is soft to look at on the front, in my view. So
yeah,
I think
definitely.
you've addressed that well.
Definitely the standard Carrera is.
Yeah.
But I'm not a lover of the was it the RS front spoiler bits?
Okay,
I find those a bit angular.
Yeah.
So the Tech Art ones are a bit more OEM-y, plussy.
A bit more sculptural, I'd say.
Yeah,
you know,
fit
bit
in with the
smoother.
original look, but add that aggression.
Yeah.
And then the front grille is something that I saw it on a cup car ages ago, and I think it was last year. I was trying to search it out. I wondered if it was a roof part.
Yeah.
Couldn't find out what it was, and I found out it was a Tech Art part. And
More Tech Art.
yeah, it's another Tech Art part that I actually got onto Tech Art, but they said they didn't produce it anymore.
Yeah.
Tried to find it, couldn't find it anywhere. But then Greg, friend, he found them in Poland. Guy in Poland had 10 of them, like old stock.
Awesome. Yeah. New old stuff.
So yeah, I got onto this guy in Poland, and we got a couple over for the two for the price of one.
Spot on.
So yeah, he's got one on his car, and I've got one on mine.
Yeah,
so
nice.
pretty rare part. And
You
I
just
think
don't see them
No.
on 993s
Yeah.
at all.
So I think it really sort of changes the whole front end look, more scoopy and
Yeah.
wings and tings.
Haven't you fattled your lights as well?
Yeah, the yellows come off the lights. I'm sure some people will be rejoicing.
I'm
Don't like
happy
it.
with that. Obviously, it's your
Yeah.
car, Andy. But yeah,
Yeah.
I prefer the smokes lights now. I really do. I think it
Yeah, a
looks
bit of
mint.
smoke.
Yeah.
But I have got yellow bulbs just
Okay. Yeah.
for that nod to yellow.
Yeah. Keep the outlaw vibe going strong. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
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 What was so the 964 and 993, which has that similar design, doesn't it, along the front with the
What, like the
grills?
959? Yeah.
Yeah, they over time can droop, and you get that smile, doesn't it?
Yeah, the
like-
964 really suffers with that. 993 doesn't. It's a bit
Okay.
more structured, that
Yeah.
front end.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
yeah, that's removed that centre bar, so you have to actually chop that out of the bumper.
Yeah.
Takes away the mesh grille, and then there's basically a flat panel with a couple of scoops
Yeah,
in the middle.
that feed air to the brakes, I assume.
Not to the brakes, to the oil cooler and the aircon cooler.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, it looks awesome. We've only seen pictures though. We're going to see it live on Friday when we have
The way
Yeah.
you see it in the flesh, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. Still got some other bits to add to that this week. So, yeah, we'll see what it looks like.
What's that then?
Oh,
You're not going to tell.
Can't say.
Right. No way. It's one of them.
More to come.
Yeah.
More bits.
You have to check the forum on Friday. one of them. Yeah, quality. No, look forward to it, mate. It's a big old transformation for 2021. That.
Yeah. I'm pleased with it.
Yeah.
It's good
And
to
your
keep-
wheels are on, obviously.
Yes. Yeah, they've been on for quite a while now. So, yeah, but they're all looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you done to yours, Jay?
Nice.
Or what did I do to yours?
Oh, yeah.
Your phone mount.
I've got a new phone mount.
Oh, calm down.
I know. So I think Andy bought the wrong-handed. Red
Yeah, I
11.
bought. Well, my wife bought it for my birthday present, I think, or was it Christmas present? And it was the right-hand drive one.
Yeah.
And obviously I got a left-hand drive car, so...
Right, okay.
Bugger.
And just before viewers go away as well, you bought a car, haven't you? or is anything else happened to the car that's more exciting?
We're talking 964. I was going to say, actually, believe it or not, as a phone mounts go, this is quite exciting.
Yeah, okay.
It's like a billet.
The red line one, yeah. It's
red
good.
line, proper
it's
job.
good chisel.
Yeah, so and you've got to take your gauge out, and it bolts around the back and goes back in. Lee's glazed over already.
Yeah.
So yes, 9. Yeah, all I've really done is that, I think, and had a full fluid change on the car, so it's done all gearbox, oil, engine, all that sort of stuff, and had a split CV boot, got that done. Yeah, that's about it. Cool.
Gosh, yeah, I need to be an air cooled. You've had an addition to your garage, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Indeed.
My because the gear shifter, I know I put that on Instagram, but that is really the tip of the iceberg. Because
is it? There's more happened.
Oh yeah, big time. And I have to say as well,
this doesn't sound like a good story.
Well, it's been maintenance as well, really. So it's not particularly.
Is this your filler water box?
Yeah, so that was the start of it, which kind of went into engine mounts, which I think we spoke about last time. But yeah, now we've had brake flexies have been up. Well, it's had the aircon was leaking. That's now been fixed. Brake fluid has been upgraded. Brake flexies have gone on. Brake pipes that are corroded have been replaced. Anti-roll bar bushes have been replaced. Anti-roll bars have been powder coated.
Oh wow!
New front lower arm because the miler one unfortunately failed after 10,000 miles, and obviously it was a year of use. But Miler's 2-year unlimited parts thing, called them up, explained what happened. They said, look, no problem. And I had a new lower arm with me the very next morning.
Yeah.
So fair play. And obviously if your car's I'd brought it back home, the car back home, but if your car's like on a ramp, kind of, you're not waiting 3 weeks for a part to turn up.
Yeah.
So I was satisfied with that. What else has happened? There's do you know what? I literally cannot remember. Oh, new tyres as well, again.
What are they like?
Well, this is the thing. I've barely scrubbed them in.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to getting to grips with them.
Yeah.
I ditched
initial impressions, or really haven't got any yet?
I don't really have any, mate. Yeah, I drove to Kent and back yesterday.
Yeah.
I had my wife in the car, so it was a very sedate experience.
That's not very nice.
God bless her. Yeah, God bless her. I'll report back on that later. It's not an N-rated tyre, is it? The Pilot Sport 4.
Yeah.
But everyone's putting them on the car. 996, 997, etc. So yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, it's been an absolute money pit, to be honest with you. So
I was going to say, you must be a couple of grand lighter.
Yeah, without a doubt, but Chris and Mike and Tony at Right Tune have been legends with that car. Absolute legends, and really, just done me a real kind of solid on that, because I think if you take it to a Porsche dealership, everything has got to be replaced, and it has had a lot of replacement parts on it. But again, like the anti-roll bar, for example, it looked horrendous. Well, let's just powder coat it and let's just make it present a little bit better rather than bolt something new on, although we replace the bushes. So yeah, there's definitely other bits and pieces I've forgotten, but this is what I mean. It'd be nice to get back to like spending money on the car that's good fun, rather than the maintenance side of things, you know.
You'll be what's the old thing where he's had
Trigger's broom.
Trigger's broom. That's
it is honestly, genuinely, it is absolutely Trigger's broom. And put a low temp thermostat on it as well. Is something else I've remembered. But yeah, it's just it really is Trigger's broom. The whole point is I'd like it to be, and because I prat around with these videos, you can't have a car that's hanging. It's got to be mechanically bang on. And I have to say, like when we drove to this bloody barbecue yesterday, I said to Laura, this is literally the best this car has ever been. So that's good, but I was just waiting for something else to go wrong again. Then the handbrake starts rattling. So.
Well, there can't be much left to do on it now.
Well, this is it. I think
famous last words.
Touch wood. So things will start breaking for a second time.
Yeah, I've ordered some KW V3s for my car.
Ooh, that's a tasty bit of kit.
Yeah,
that is a tasty bit of kit.
That's what you've got on yours, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so waiting for those to come.
Excellent.
So that'd be the next adventure in the garage.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But trying to fit that in over the next few months, because there's lots of events coming up. So I'm not sure when I'm going to get those on.
So, because your car is lower than stock at the moment.
Yeah, it's got some unidentified
sure,
eBay springs on there.
But it sits nicely, so it's not so much about changing the stance, I assume. It's just about shoring up the handling.
Yeah.
It sits very low where it is, isn't it?
It does fit, yeah. It's probably lower than RS, I think, at the moment. Probably real saggy springs.
Yeah.
But yeah, just looking to, well, obviously the springs are unknown. Dampers are just what I would guess are sort of standard-ish dampers.
Yeah.
They're the old green, got that green look to them, which is the standard ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, try and get something on there that's obviously a lot better and see how it all pans out.
That will, as I said it before, if there's one modification to do to transform your car, it's just put a decent set of dampers on the car, decent set of shocks.
Yeah.
So that'd be awesome, mate.
Yeah, looking forward to digging into that.
Yeah.
Going to be going through suspension-wise. There'll be a few bits and bobs that need changing, some of the joints and things, like the rubbers.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get it all cleaned up and looking
Spot
good.
on. Yeah.
Nice. Sounds good.
And then you, Joe, so your stable has expanded. The GR has landed.
It has indeed.
Go on then. What are your... how many miles have you done, first of all? I bet there's a fair bit on there.
There's about 300 on it now.
Okay.
I was going to make a suggestion. Shall we jump in it and drive around the block?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What a great idea.
And then we can come back and finish this conversation.
Yeah, 100%.
Good call.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's just silly, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
I love your soaring in the window.
It's a Tuesday night at
Remember
Bournemouth,
those
and
things?
Joe's absolutely
Cutting through the tyres.
Yeah, I agree with Andy. It's an absolute hooligan car. You know, you go to the shops for a loaf of bread, and all of a sudden you find yourself like racing some like Lamborghini or whatever. You know, it's just like
Yeah, I'd get myself into all sorts of trouble.
I think it's a round town car. It's just a hoot.
I'll stick with my 75 horsepower, don't you? I love pedalling the 75 horsepower.
It's fun if you've got a few more to pedal sometimes.
Tell you what, it rides well as well.
Right, that's what I mean. I think actually
Yeah, it does.
it sits
It's not super stiff, is it? You know.
No, well, this is the thing. It's actually they're quite high. It just never gets old. But I think the suspension's set and they're set quite high, so I think they sort of it sort of
You can feel it squatting a bit.
yeah,
there, like
it drives into it, and it's I think that's the movement is what I think gives it a lot of the grip. If it was like, because some people I've seen have like slammed them and put them on different suspension and stuff. And I just think, I don't know, do you really need to mess with it?
Yeah.
I think it works as it is. So yeah, this is very sedate.
Yeah. It is. Well, that was mental. Can we do a sweepstake on when Joe loses his licence?
Joe's reputation precedes him.
I'll give over. It wasn't that bad.
What we've just done is Gymkhana around Paul, basically.
Soaring at the wheel.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, I'm so impressed with that. The noise, the ride, the grip.
Yeah.
Is unbelievable. And actually, the finish inside is pretty decent as well.
Yeah,
It's all right, isn't it? Yeah.
100%. We're just looking at the wheelbase though. That is long, but the wheels are really. They're probably
right
in
at
the
the
corner,
corners,
aren't they?
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's got to be a longer wheelbase than a 996.
Oh yeah, it must be.
I'll have to give that a measure because I reckon that could be a surprising measurement.
Yeah.
But yeah, that little four-wheel drive system I think is cracking.
There's just so
rally
much grip,
derived.
wasn't there?
Yeah.
So much grip. But that is, you said out on the drive, Andy, that, you
Oh, too much. Yeah.
But it's just a hooligan and you
I'll
get into trouble.
I've been in trouble before and I could get myself way into too much trouble with that.
It's getting
Easy.
carried away.
Yeah, you do, don't you? You just get carried away.
Go out
I
for the
can't
groceries,
stop
end
myself.
up in jail.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. You said you found a lot of people like goading you.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing that's been a bit tedious. Is people doing weird like burnouts next to you and sort of revving their engine up your ass behind you and all sorts of that sort of stuff. Which not really experienced much of that before. Don't really get much of that in 911s generally. I find. So that was a little bit strange, but it's definitely a very mixed crowd appreciate it.
Yeah.
So it's
I bet.
There's so many about.
There is quite a few. Yeah. I think especially down here, I think obviously, there's lots of people who've got little collections of cars, and I think lots of people have, gone for one.
Yeah. I think, I reckon it's nearly 10 people that I know that I personally know that have got them.
Wow.
Awesome.
That is good going.
Yeah. That's pretty mad, isn't it?
Oh,
for
we should have like a Yaris IROC series. That'd be absolutely awesome.
Just a circuit of Paul and Bournemouth.
Yeah, round one at Matchams up the road. That'd be awesome. But it looks great as well. It's got loads of aggression to it.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds us of the good old days.
Yeah,
especially with
Yeah,
all the
it's boy,
hatchbacks
isn't it?
and
It's
whatnot.
definitely boy.
Yeah.
But I think it's
You're
subtle,
gonna
subtle enough to get away with it, though, because you can drive it around town and you can park it wherever. Most people don't know what it is. They just think it's a Yaris.
Yeah.
So as much as we might go, that's a bit interesting, a lot of people, it's just another little hatchback.
You're going to get a sunstrip, though, aren't you? I might get one made and nip round and put it on.
I have to say,
With my name on it.
Yeah.
Joe and Tracy.
I do. I think that car is such good news, isn't it? And I think, regardless of all this electrification stuff that we're all having to kind of go down at the moment, I think that car is the best thing to happen to the automotive industry I can't think.
Yeah,
of.
true. Yeah.
I just think it's awesome.
It's definitely shaking it up, isn't it?
Awesome.
It's got
Big
people
time.
talking about cars again.
Yeah.
And it's got them talking about interesting cars.
Yeah.
Even if it's not necessarily about that car's led into stories about, like you said, the good old days.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched, just because it was on, I was watching the Top Gear thing where they had it on the other day, and they brought out all the old Group B cars.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
wow, I
awesome.
need to see
It was
that.
an awesome
That sounds
feature
good.
that Chris
it's
Harris did.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
And you don't. What other car inspires that and gets them to bring out that sort of metal and gets people going? I mean, a lot of people are probably looking at some of those Group B cars and probably never seen them before.
Yeah.
Don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
And suddenly people are getting interested again. I think that's cool.
Genuine competition inspired. It was meant to be an homologation car, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Engaging, fun, usable. With a small engine as well. So again, in terms of like where we are with the rest of the industry in terms of the planet and whatnot, there's not a whacking great V6 chucked in the front,
I think you can just about squeeze 45 litres of fuel in it.
Yeah. I honestly, I love it.
How
And
quickly
I
does it
think
get
it's the
through
best
it?
thing to happen.
Yeah,
Quick.
it depends how you drive it.
I think
Well,
we just did 40
I noticed
litres.
on the trip computer on the screen in the centre,
Yeah.
it said cruising range, which I thought, okay, yeah, that's good. Because it's like usually you just, range, put your foot down and it halves. So yeah, cruising range is, I think they should all do that. That's awesome, Joe. You're going to have so much fun in that for the next 2 weeks, and then you're going to be getting the
Then
bus.
prison.
Calling you to the lift,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we'll be looking
Fun
for a
for
new
2
presenter
weeks.
by the end. Do you reckon can you get Zoom in jail? Yeah.
There'll be a cheap Toyota Yaris on the market as well.
Yeah. License
Excellent.
loser will be the headline. That was awesome, Joe. Well, what an addition that is to the stable.
Yeah, really, really good. I'm really, really pleased, and it was nice when because there's so much hype about that car.
Yeah.
I nearly binned it off. I was very, very close to cancelling it because I thought, do I really need it?
Yeah.
I was quite happy actually driving. I've been driving the 964 loads as a daily, and thought I don't really need it. I'll just drive that. Very, very close to cancelling it. Yeah, pleased I didn't.
Yeah, spot on.
I think
Absolutely
it's good.
spot on. Well, look, that's an awesome way to wrap up the pod, I think. We're all out together, I think, this coming weekend.
Yep.
We are.
Which will
Bicester,
be-
up at Bicester.
Yes.
On
Bicester
Scramble.
Saturday.
I've never been. My first
Have you
time.
not?
Oh,
What,
very
to
good.
Bicester?
I've never been to Bicester.
Oh, well,
How
blimey.
shocked and excited you are.
I am quite shocked.
In Oxfordshire.
I've been dragged around the shopping village.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure that doesn't count.
No, very different, very different. Yeah, I think you'll be, pleasantly,
Cool.
I'm not surprised. I just think you'll really, you'll enjoy
Enlightened
it.
is the word.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pilgrimage that every kind of petrol head should tread at least
Okay.
once, I think.
Yeah.
I've not done too much looking into it. I know loosely there's some automotive related businesses there, but I've
Yeah.
not looked at any pictures and stuff, so I don't
Don't,
really
I'd say. Just
Yeah.
get there and take it in.
Yeah.
rock up and have a look. So,
Yeah.
I'm quite excited for that.
Awesome. So are you bringing 964 for because we've
964.
got a stopover Friday night, haven't we? Which would be cool.
Doing Molly's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Oh yeah, we're doing an overnight dinner. Check us out.
yeah.
We've got dinner date and everything.
Very civilised. Very civilised.
Have we booked? We better book.
Yeah, I think we're already booked.
Okay, good.
Cracking. So we'll have a few more bits and pieces to talk about from our world,
Yeah.
and then next episode,
Oh, we're going to Simply Porsche on Sunday as well. I don't think you are, but
No, I'm going to swerve it, but you guys are going to go.
yeah. So down in Bewley, I think there's quite a few listeners going to that.
So you got a full weekend of Porsche action, basically.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's
that is
hardcore.
fully loaded.
Yeah.
Divorced on Monday.
Yeah, I was going to say, 100%. Yeah, doghouse.
I don't think I've dropped the bombshell of Sunday, actually.
Oh.
I've lined up Friday, Saturday. But
easier to seek forgiveness and permission. You know the drill.
Very true, very true. Yeah, I do live by that one. It's getting away with it so far. So.
Still got your balls.
As of Monday, maybe not. But
Cracking. Absolutely cracking.
Right, till next week.
Excellent.
Ideal.
Good to see you all.
You've been listening to Road to Redline, the #1 Porsche and car podcast fueled by our generous Patreons. If you'd like to join in supporting the podcast, please see patreon.com/Road to Redline and find us on Instagram.